You've been doing everything right, or at least, that's what it feels like. You affirm every day. You visualize your dream life. You script your desires as if they're already yours. You even catch yourself before negative thoughts spiral. Yet, your 3D reality, the same, stagnant, unmoved. It's almost like the universe is ignoring you. At first, you told yourself to be patient. But as weeks turned into months, that patience wore thin. Now, every affirmation feels forced. Every visualization is laced with frustration. And deep down, an uncomfortable thought is starting to creep in. What if this doesn't work? What if I never get what I want? If you're feeling this way, you're not alone. This is the invisible battle of a stuck manifester, someone who is doing all the right things yet seeing no results. But here's what most people don't realize. It's not your desires that are stuck. It's you. You don't actually manifest with your affirmations or visualizations. You manifest with your state of being. And right now, your state is one of waiting, pushing, desperation. That's why nothing is shifting. Resistance shows up in the mind in many ways: doubt, frustration, impatience, fear. But at its core, it all boils down to one thing: attachment to the outcome. The more attached you are, the more you strangle the natural flow of manifestation. Think about it. Have you ever had a moment where something came into your life effortlessly? Maybe a small wish, like someone texting you out of nowhere, or an unexpected gift. It happened because you weren't desperate for it. There was no resistance, just a casual thought, a fleeting desire, and then you moved on. But when it comes to the things you really want, the attachment is different. It's heavy, it's emotional, and instead of being in a state of natural expectancy, you're in a state of lack. This is why people can affirm all day and still see no change. If the dominant state underneath those affirmations is "I don't have it," the subconscious mind will make sure your reality reflects that truth. Your state of being is what dictates what manifests, not the words you say or the images you conjure up in your mind. Words and images are tools, but they are powerless if they are not backed by a true inner shift. You can say "I am loved" 100 times, but if deep down your state is one of loneliness and longing, your reality will continue to mirror that state. The mind is incredibly powerful, but it cannot override your state of being. Your state is the energy you carry, the vibration you emit, and the lens through which you perceive the world. If your state is one of frustration, you will perceive obstacles. If your state is one of lack, you will notice everything that confirms your lack. If your state is one of fulfillment, life will begin to reflect that back to you effortlessly. So how do you shift? The key is letting go, not of your desires, but of the resistance around them. You let go of the fear that it won't happen. You let go of the need to control every little detail. You shift into a state of knowing, a state of inner stability where your desire is not something outside of you, but something that is already yours internally. This doesn't mean you stop affirming or visualizing. It means you do them from a place of joy and certainty, not from a place of trying to force a result. There's a subtle but critical difference between affirming something because you know it is true and affirming something because you are desperate for it to be true. One comes from alignment, the other from lack. The moment you relax into the certainty that your desire is already yours, your energy changes. You stop looking for proof. You stop second-guessing. And that shift is what allows the manifestation to flow naturally into your reality. Self-sabotage isn't always obvious. It's not just negative thinking or giving up. The biggest form of self-sabotage is continuing to do all the manifestation techniques while still being the same person who doesn't have what they want. Let's be brutally honest. If you're constantly checking for signs, if you feel anxiety when nothing is happening, if you're overanalyzing every little thing the universe is or isn't doing, you are keeping yourself in the identity of someone who is waiting, not someone who already has. And here's where it gets even deeper. Sometimes, we don't actually want what we think we want. There's a subconscious fear underneath the desire. Maybe you want love, but deep down, you fear being abandoned. Maybe you want success, but there's a hidden belief that you'll fail and be humiliated. The subconscious mind will always prioritize safety over desires. If having your manifestation feels like a threat, if it challenges your self-concept or old identity, you'll unconsciously push it away, even as you affirm for it daily. This is why self-awareness is so crucial in manifestation. It's not just about saying the right affirmations or visualizing the perfect outcome. It's about recognizing the deeper layers of resistance that exist within you. Your subconscious mind is always running the show. If it perceives your desire as unsafe, it will create circumstances to keep you from experiencing it. This is why so many people feel stuck, even when they feel like they're doing everything right. For example, let's say you're manifesting a relationship, but every time someone gets close to you, you feel an urge to pull away. Or maybe you're manifesting financial abundance, but you procrastinate on taking the actions that would lead to success. This isn't because you're bad at manifesting. It's because your identity is still wired to your old story. Your identity is what truly dictates your reality, not just your conscious desires. If you see yourself as someone who always struggles, who is unlucky in love, or who has to work hard for money, then no matter how many affirmations you say, your actions and emotions will reflect that identity. The real work of manifestation isn't just about thinking differently. It's about becoming the version of you that already has what you want. So how do you shift out of self-sabotage? The first step is deep honesty with yourself. Ask yourself, does part of me fear what I'm asking for? Am I attached to my current identity, even if it's painful? If my desire showed up tomorrow, would I truly feel safe and ready for it? The second step is embodying the new version of yourself now. This means letting go of waiting, letting go of overanalyzing, and stepping into the energy of certainty. The person who has their desire isn't desperately checking for signs. They're living as if it's already done. When you shift into that state, not just mentally, but emotionally and energetically, your manifestation has no choice but to reflect that back to you. Imagine someone chasing you down the street, begging you to love them. It's overwhelming, right? You'd instinctively want to run the other way. That's exactly how desperation repels desires. It suffocates them. It creates a feeling of neediness, which is the energetic opposite of already having. The universe responds to your state, not your words. If your state is "I need this to happen," you're reinforcing the reality where you don't have it. Now, this is where most people get confused. They think, so does that mean I should stop wanting it? No, desire is natural. But there's a difference between wanting something and needing it. When you want something, you enjoy the process, you feel excitement, you know it's coming. When you need something, you feel empty without it, you obsess over it, you fear it might not happen. So the real shift isn't in trying harder, it's in letting go. Letting go doesn't mean giving up. It doesn't mean suppressing your desires or pretending you don't care. It means shifting your energy from lack to fulfillment. It means trusting that what you want is already on its way to you, without the constant need to check, worry, or force it into existence. Think about the things in your life that have come easily. The friendships that formed naturally, the opportunities that just happened to show up, the moments where everything fell into place without effort. These things came because there was no resistance. You weren't grasping or forcing, you were simply in alignment. Now, compare that to the things you've struggled to manifest. What was different? More often than not, the difference is your emotional state. When you're desperate, you send out an energy of lack, of not having, of waiting. When you're in a state of trust, you move differently. You stop questioning, you stop looking for constant reassurance, and you live as if you already know it's done. This is where most people struggle. They think, but how do I stop wanting it so much? The answer isn't in stopping the desire, it's in redirecting your focus. Instead of fixating on when and how it will come, focus on feeling good now. Focus on embodying the version of yourself who already has it. Imagine for a moment that your desire has already manifested. How would you feel? How would you carry yourself? What thoughts would you think? When you start living from that state, not just in fleeting moments, but consistently, you shift your energy. And when your energy shifts, your reality has no choice but to catch up. So the next time you feel yourself slipping into desperation, take a step back. Breathe. Remind yourself that everything you desire is already on its way. The only thing standing between you and it is your attachment to the outcome. Let go of the need to control, and watch how effortlessly things begin to align in your favor. Letting go doesn't mean you stop wanting your desire. It means you stop needing it to prove something to you. You stop checking for it, waiting for it, forcing it. You allow yourself to become the version of you who already has it, without resistance, without overthinking, without struggle. And this is where most people ask, how do I let go when I want it so badly? The answer is simple, by becoming the person who already has it. If you already had what you wanted, how would you feel? How would you wake up in the morning? What would your daily thoughts be like? You wouldn't be obsessing over when it's coming. You wouldn't be doubting if it's possible. You would simply live. Letting go is a shift in identity. It's stepping into the version of yourself who no longer needs to manifest, because they are the manifestation. This is where the real power lies. When you stop chasing, when you stop constantly looking outside of yourself for signs, you start embodying a different energy. You start moving through the world with a quiet confidence, an inner knowing that what you want is already yours. You no longer feel the urge to force things into place because you trust they're aligning perfectly. Think about the difference between someone who is desperately trying to prove themselves versus someone who already knows their worth. The energy is completely different. One is restless, anxious, always looking for external validation. The other is calm, self-assured, grounded. Manifestation works the same way. The moment you stop needing something to happen, you create the space for it to naturally unfold. But here's the challenge: the mind loves to hold on. It wants control. It wants to know exactly when and how things will happen. Letting go feels uncomfortable at first because it requires trust. Trust in yourself, trust in the process, trust that what is meant for you will arrive at the perfect time. This is why so many people struggle with manifestation. They do all the techniques, but underneath it all, they're still attached to the outcome. They're still looking for proof, still measuring their progress, still reacting to what they see in their current reality. But the key isn't in reacting, it's in becoming. You don't wait for the evidence before you believe. You believe first, and then the evidence appears. This is what it means to embody your manifestation. You live in the feeling of already having it. You carry yourself as if it's done. You trust so deeply that you no longer feel the need to check. And when you reach this state, everything shifts. Letting go isn't passive, it's the most powerful thing you can do. It's not about doing nothing, it's about doing from a place of certainty instead of lack. When you act with confidence. When you think about your desire, you feel excitement, not desperation. When you move through your day, you do so with the assurance that your reality is already rearranging itself to match your new state. And that's when the magic happens. Here's something powerful to realize. You don't have to fight resistance. You don't have to remove self-sabotage. You just have to stop identifying with it. Right now, you're likely feeling stuck because you're seeing yourself as someone who has a problem manifesting. But what if you simply stopped? What if, instead of trying to fix resistance, you just decided it no longer applied to you? What if, right now, you let yourself step into the version of you who knows everything is unfolding perfectly? What if you dropped the desperation, not by forcing yourself to feel okay, but by realizing you already are? Because here's the truth, the moment you stop resisting, everything flows. The moment you decide you're already enough, already worthy, already in alignment, your world shifts. Your outer world will always reflect your inner world. If you're experiencing delay, it's not because the universe is testing you. It's because, on some level, you're still identifying with the old version of yourself. The fastest way to shift. Stop waiting. Stop looking for proof. Stop checking the 3D. Just decide, right now, that you are the person who already has it. And when you do, the universe won't have a choice but to catch up. Now, I want to hear from you. What's the biggest realization you had while watching this? Drop a comment below and let me know what resonated with you the most. Let's shift together.